Hi everyone, it's Stephanie here with a video for My Favorite Things. In today's video, I'm going to be recreating this magical slider card that was designed by design team member Torico for the May 2016 release. So to start off, I'm just gathering my supplies. I'm going to be using the Magical Unicorn stamp set along with the Surf and Turf die set that was released with the April 2016 card kit, and I'm going to create this fun slider card. So to start off, I have bubblegum and periwinkle inks. These are the premium dye inks. And I also have a white panel that I die cut with the Blueprints 8 Dynamics. And I'm going to create a cloud background. So to do this, I'm going to take both of my inks and ink blending tools, and I'm going to sponge on color using the Cloud Edges Dynamics. These have a stitch detail when you cut them out, but they also work really great for masks. So I already have some masks that I've used in cards before, and I like to just keep these stuck to the back of the little insert that I have in my die sleeve there, and I can just remove them and reuse them over and over. So they do have color on them already just because I've used them previously, but the color doesn't transfer at all. You can go ahead and just reuse them, and you just get a lot of mileage out of these little masks once you create them. So I'm just taking my ink blending tool and I'm very lightly kind of swirling the color around, starting on the mask and kind of moving upwards. And you can see when you do that, you get this really soft effect of the color that you're using, and you get that great cloud outline detail. So I'm going to go ahead and use both of these colors and kind of shift my mask all around this background piece, and I'm going to just keep adding color. Now in a few spots I went a little too heavy with my hand and I ended up with a little bit more ink. You can see at the bottom there. Normally I would have probably started over just because that's a pretty big splotch of ink, but I know that when I create this card, I'm going to cover that corner with the rainbow, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm just going to leave it because I know it's going to be covered up. So I'm just kind of taking each mask and positioning them over top of one another. I'm not being too careful to make sure they're not overlapping or anything, because I think it just kind of adds to this fun cloud effect by having them kind of all different directions and kind of overlapping one another as you go up. And you can see as I move up the piece here that I end up with these like beautiful fluffy looking clouds with this great pink and purple detail. And you wouldn't think that pink and purple would be colors that you would use for clouds, at least I wouldn't have, until I seen this card by Torico and I was like, wow, it looks really great. So I kind of love going a little out of the box and making it look a little bit more magical with these fun pink and purple colors. So now that I have the clouds finished, I went ahead and stamped the sentiment in the corner there with chocolate brown ink, and now I'm going to work on my rainbow. And a fun idea here to kind of put your rainbow back together is I went ahead first and die cut the rainbow from all of the colors of cardstock that I wanted to use, and then I'm going ahead and putting them back into the die upside down here. And this was a great tip that Torico included with her class. And what I'm doing is kind of just laying all these pieces back on top, and then if you kind of push down on them, they kind of fit right back into the space that they came from. And then I'm just going to take some micropore tape. You can use any kind of sticky tape you have here, and I'm going to adhere them all back together so that when I pull it out of the die, I have this full rainbow now, and it makes it super easy to adhere it onto the card. So I love this fun idea to kind of keep everything together once you've die cut it all. So now I have the rainbow done. I'm just going to set that aside, or actually I'm going to put it on the cardstock panel to kind of get an idea of where I want to place everything. And I've just taken that Surf and Turf die and kind of figured out where I want it, and I've adhered it with some removable tape just to make sure it didn't shift, and I went ahead and die cut that hole into the cardstock panel. So now it's time to actually start to assemble the slider portion. So I've already went ahead and die cut and colored my pieces from the Magical Unicorn stamp set. I used one of the unicorns as well as the little castle. And now I'm going to create the spinner. And you don't need that many spin and slide discs. I just kind of dumped them all over. You just need 2. And these are another great thing that came in the April card kit, which helps to create slider cards. So they're super fun. So these little discs are plastic, and I'm just using matte multi-medium to go ahead and adhere them to the back of the unicorn that I already colored. And I also die cut a second unicorn from white cardstock. You can see it there in the frame. And that's just going to be what I use to actually turn this into a slider so that that unicorn stays in that track. So I went ahead and put the 2 little spin discs on. If you use one of the spinner discs, it will allow your image to spin around in that opening as well. But the unicorn I didn't want to spin. I wanted it just to go up and down that track there. So I went ahead and added 2, which will prevent it from spinning. So while the adhesive is drying on that unicorn, I went ahead and adhered the rainbow piece onto my panel, and you can see now that I have it adhered that I completely covered up that splotch of ink in the bottom corner, which is why I wasn't too worried about it when I kind of added a little bit too much ink there. And now I'm going ahead and assembling the castle and the cloud area. So I adhered the castle directly onto the cardstock panel, as well as the first cloud with just regular adhesive. And now I'm adhering the second cloud with foam adhesive directly over top of the other area of the castle, as well as the first cloud that I attached there. And it just creates a fun little castle that looks like this rainbow is kind of coming out of the castle. So it's just a cute card design. I really love this. So now the adhesive is dry on my spin and slide discs, so I went ahead and put the unicorn inside the opening where I want him to slide, and I flipped it upside down and added some adhesive to the back area of both of these spin and slide discs as well. Now you can see on that little unicorn piece that I'm going to be using for the back, I did cut off its tail. I don't want the tail portion to kind of be showing on the end of the card when I slide that unicorn. And now you can see that I have it adhered. This little unicorn goes up and down this track and looks like it's flying up the rainbow. So such a cute card design. I loved recreating this card with this fun slider element. So to adhere the piece to the card, I did add foam adhesive onto the back, and this just makes sure that that slider piece has a lot of area underneath of that panel to allow the unicorn to move freely. If you use 2 layers of foam tape or a thicker foam tape, the unicorn will slide really easily and kind of just move on its own if you move the card. I only used 1 layer because I didn't want the unicorn to kind of be flopping all over the place. I wanted it to kind of only move when I actually used my fingers to actually push it along the track. So it worked out really well. And now to finish off the card, I just went ahead and added some sequins onto the areas around the castle and the sentiment and the rainbow. And I used some mint stickles because it matched the color of the unicorn's mane and tail, and added that on top for a little bit of added sparkle. And then that's going to complete the card today. So thanks so much to Torico for this awesome card inspiration, and thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.